Hey there, happy Facebook Friday, the last Friday of the year, as well as the last Friday I will be in my office at 34 Depot Street. I officially got the keys about half an hour ago, so good to go. Moving over to 2 Federico Drive, just off of East Street. Very excited, very light-filled space, and I feel like it's going to be the community hub, I guess, that I've intended to create for all these years. It's got a little bit more space, so when we're having our groups, we won't be so cheek to cheek in here. I hope you all had a great holiday, however you celebrate, whatever you celebrate, and that you are staying warm if you are in the Northeast. Holy moly, is it cold out there. So, as I move into the new space tomorrow, I've been reflecting on what this space has been for me. I moved here after we decided to sell the store, which didn't go, and then had to close the store. I moved over here. I've had a wonderful time in this building. The people from Guidewire, I'm so gonna miss my guys every day. If you want to feel like a celebrity, you should really rent an office here, because when you walk out, well, at least when I walk out, if they're in between their programs or they're around, they yell, "Vicky Baird." It's the nicest thing. It's the sweetest thing. Smelling brownies down the hallway, that's a little rough sometimes. But they've been so sweet, and I'm going to miss my guys. I'm going to miss Pam's laugh in the next room. She's got the best laugh. And I'm truly grateful for all that has shifted in my business since I've been in this space for a little over 4 years now. It's been a little bittersweet because this is the first move I'll do without the dude. And he was always so supportive of my business, and anytime I needed something fixed, hung on the wall, or that time I had to call him because I got the table stuck in the doorway and I couldn't get it through into the new office, he didn't make fun of me then. So that's been a little bittersweet. But I'm excited about moving over to Federico and the community that we'll create there for the wellness people in the neighborhood, as well as ourselves. So I was thinking about the change and how, not the change, because that's coming too, but a little overshare there, that's what you get with me. The changes that we go through, and change is going to happen whether we want it to or not. And I feel like sometimes people get in their own way and try to fight change instead of asking, well, what opportunity is this bringing me? Where could this land me that could maybe feel more in alignment with whom I am, as well as propel me forward? Because let's face it, hopefully we all want to grow and learn more about ourselves. So I would love to send out encouragement as well as a little bit of challenge, that we take 2018 and we embrace change, and whatever that means in your life, I hope you would take some direction with it, some internal process, and then match the external process to that. Because I don't know about you, but it doesn't seem to be that something just walks by and drops in my lap. You actually have to move your arse. And if you don't, then that change is going to feel painful, because you actually get into a tug of war with the resistant energy. So, there could be circumstances where someone passes, the job is complete, relationships end, whatever the case may be. I feel like if we take a little bit of the drama out of it and we look at it and say, okay, how could this possibly be in my best interest? It's always there. It is always there. It may be hard to see at sometimes, and that's where I come in a lot of the time for people, is helping them to see where the next step may be, or what the gift that is wrapped under all of that bubble wrap that may not have been evident. So as you go in to this new year and embrace the fact that it is a new year, you can make decisions every day. You've heard me say that a million times. But there is something to the energy of a new year that can kick us in that said ours and get us moving. So one of the things that you can do is have a, hello ladies, have a sit down with yourself and write down all of the things that you would like to release that either became known to you this year, or that you experienced, or that you just don't want to carry around with you anymore. Write that down on a list. Have a good cry if it comes up, better out than in. And then you can wrap it with a red ribbon, red piece of yarn, something. And the ideal situation would be to step outside your home and burn it. But safety has to come first. So if that is not an option in very dry Western United States or other parts of the world, please don't do that. You can absolutely use your fireplace or wood stove or your shredder if burning is not okay. But you want to remove any ashes or any of the paper that's been shredded out of the home as quickly as possible. So because you just don't want that energy hanging around. So what this does is it not only gives you a moment to reflect and to look at some of the stuff that's been going on in your life, it also allows you to have some feeling of being able to release that, have some say over it. And then energetically, when you burn it or you shred it, it busts up the energy that's been held and holding a space universally. So that you would do with all the things that you want to let go. What have you been hanging on to that's just no longer serving you? And then after you do that, nice couple deep breaths, you should feel a little release from that. Kids love doing this, by the way. So get them involved in it too. The next step you would do is you would, hey Brenda, write down everything that you would like to bring into your life in this year. What would you like to create? Manifest, see, experience, whatever word you want to put in there. So then you would write this list out too. And you can do two things with it. I have in the past copied it and kept a copy for myself, because as you get writing and you get rolling with that, sometimes stuff comes up that you didn't even know you wanted to give a try at. So then you want to take the original though, and same thing, roll that up, red piece of twine paper. Don't get too caught up on that detail. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. There's just some energy with the red that can just tweak it a little bit. So then you do the same thing with the list of what you would like to bring in. Now this also works during a full moon or a new moon. You can basically do it any stinking time you want, but there's times that have a little bit more energy behind it that can help you to amplify what you're putting out. Because a lot of the times, even when we're asking for something, we're not feeling really deserving of what we're asking for. So that can get in the way. So you want to do that. And then burn, shred, whatever the case may be that works for you in your neighborhood. And that allows a message to not only your emotional, mental, etheric, all those other bodies that we have outside this physical one. It sends a connecting message to your soul, I believe. And I feel like it helps us to work in tandem. So I have a couple questions that I'm going to throw out to you that could get the ball rolling a little bit. And so we'll do the past year. Okay, so one of the questions is, thank you for all the hearts. You guys are so sweet. What are the 3 things that you gave the most energy to this year? So this can either be in, I gave energy to getting in shape. I gave energy to that ridiculous relationship that drained the living you-know-what out of me. I gave energy to worry. People give way too much energy to worry and guilt. It's, there's an Irish proverb that says, worry is like a rocking chair. It will give you something to do, but you won't get anywhere. And I think it's very true. So what are 3 things you gave the most energy to? And these are things that you can think about, maybe write down on that list to kind of prime your pump. So in connection with that, what has kept you up at night? So a lot of times that goes into worry, anxiety, monkey mind, brain won't stop, that kind of stuff. When you list that out, it does help to purge. Now, I've never been one where my thoughts kept me up at night. I'm more of a let me go to sleep and just take a break person. But I know how fast my brain can get running with worst case scenarios, or it used to. It doesn't do it so much anymore. I catch that puppy pretty quickly. So what has kept you up at night? Now, hopefully there were some fun evenings in there that kept you up at night. So you can put that on the list too, assuming we're all adults here in this conversation. And then another question would be, what are you most grateful for? And this can also be a question that can help you really kind of dig in, right? Because you could be most grateful that relationship ended, and because it wasn't serving you in the first place, but you thought it was. Or you could be grateful that you decided to take a risk and thought it was completely crazy, but you were brave enough to do it, so you stepped into your own power and you seized the moment. So look through and find the places that you can be grateful for yourself, because you better be on that list. If I'm asking you to do a list of what are you grateful for, you better be on that list somewhere, because it starts with you. And then you can go to whatever pops up. Really let it roll, because our subconscious likes to block what we really need to know about ourselves. And then once you get into these practices, it will lay it out there for you till there's no real secret anymore of what's going on behind the scenes. And then you can actually clear things up. You can make some progress. You can move your office. You can expand your business. Whatever the case may be, you can know that you have asked the questions of yourself, so you know inner truth. And that can be part of that releasing of the energy that's gets a little clogged up because we get so busy and we just keep going and we don't take these moments for ourselves. So, so looking ahead, then, I also have a couple questions because I can't leave it in the past. There's a reason that rear view mirror is smaller than your windshield, It's only for checking into, not living in the view of what's been behind you. So, looking ahead to this year, what will you do in this upcoming year for your health? What are you going to do? You're the only one who can do it. So I used to say that to Howard all the time, and while still struggling with that idea for myself. And this year I feel like I really got it. That I am the only one who can do me, and that I'm the only one that can improve my health. You can have helpers in the world, and you can take the advice, but you got to move that butt, and it's the only way that's really going to shift what you really want to happen. So for those of you involved in the runner streak, day 37, we are rocking it. 3 more days of this streak. For my health this year, in this month alone, I'm over 101 miles running. And that's not something that I would have thought I would have hit at any point. So in the car, I'm pretty good at it in the car. So what would you do for your health? Will you start eating a little bit more cleanly? Will you join that amazing gym in Lee, right on 102, Souls Fitness? It's got some great instructors. We'll be open New Year's Day, 6:15 a.m. I will be on that bike. I better see some of your butts in the room with me. Inspiring playlist. I'll say that. I'm not going to say anymore. So what else will you do for your health? Will you hire a therapist? Will you hire this really amazing life coach that I know? I can give you her number. She's moving to Federico Drive, but she has openings, so she'd be happy to take you on. Make one commitment. Don't take on a big, huge thing because we end up sabotaging ourselves. The incremental steps really add up, and they help to have points of celebration. So whatever it is, get that on that list and then follow through. That's the moving the arse part. The other one is, what areas do you want to develop yourself? So do you want to connect more with your own intuitive abilities? Do you want to read more? Do you want to be out in nature? Do you want to go to school? Do you want to learn how to open up your heart and trust your emotions so that you can connect with others without losing a part of yourself, but to feel that lit up space? So whatever it is, do you want to learn a new craft? Do you want to work with your hands? Whatever comes to mind, allow it to be there. You don't have to advertise it to the world. I would rather you not. I would rather you hold that in some reverence for yourself for a little bit until you realize what it is that is speaking to you and what feels fun. Lori says that she's done the writing out the list of what she'd like to release and then burning the paper and blowing the ashes to the wind, and it was very refreshing. I get a kick out of it, but I can usually find fun in a lot of things, but it does feel good. You feel like, I don't know, you took some action over that stuff. And for Deb, who was taught to never think of herself, realizing how important it is now that she has a granddaughter to care, to teach how to care for herself. And it is something that can be a fine line in learning to take care of self and hear what it is that we want, know, intuit, desire, and then be in connection with others. And I think it's vitally important to fill up our own bank, our emotional bank. So in this new year, and you can do this anytime you want, but in this new year, set some dates with yourself. Like literally put it on the calendar. I just signed up for a year-long running through Berkshire Running. And the last night I sat there and I put every date in my calendar, because if I didn't, I would have booked work over it or something else. And this is something that I gave to myself as a gift this year, because I'm curious to see, like, where else could I be if I commit to this and I follow through. And I also think that I have to be an example. If I'm asking you to do it, it would be pretty hypocritical of me not to be challenging my own fears, insecurities, and perceived limitations. So it is about changing old programs, and I'm really good at that. I can help you. But you can do it yourself in being aware when they come up. Don't judge them. Just look at them and say, oh, okay, I'm doing that thing. That's fine. What is it that I said I wanted to do? Trust me, I still make excuses like there's no tomorrow about going for that run. But I always enjoy it afterwards. And I have to remind myself that that's the feeling I'm going for. And when I can run up the stairs with boxes in my hands, or I can do those inchworms now, that when I first started with Justin, trust me, it wasn't pretty. It just wasn't pretty. Just trust me. Jane, invite less chaos into my life. Was comfortable with that in the past. Okay, yeah, we do. We get hooked on it, and we feel a certain sense of purpose when there's a lot of chaos and drama running around. And but I actually feel like we're more of service when we have those moments of calm and when we take time to really know ourselves. So when chaos comes, you can be in it. Life is going to get busy, and there's going to be scheduling, and there's going to be moving on the coldest freaking weekend of the year so far, and things happen. But if you are able to recognize it, you can kind of head that off at the past. And Wendy just said she joined the gym. Can I just tell you, since she brought it up, I'm going to say it. I challenged her to get down to the gym. I think 4 days. She had 4 days to get there. Within an hour, I got a text that said, showing the picture of the gym window, saying she joined. I was so thrilled. Thrilled that she listened to herself. But there is a little contact high that happens when people actually do what they have been, processing in their head for so long. And I've said it before, I know the mental benefit of the physical exercise. And there's truth in that sweat equity, because when you see it add up, not only to remove the toxins from your system and from the earth and all of that we've absorbed, there's a sense of accomplishment that comes with it. And that's just an amazing piece that can eventually be louder than the one that's saying just sit on the couch, or that's going to be hard. Any of you can ask Justin about the first run he took me on. I thought we were going to have to call the ambulance, and we only did a 1/10 of a mile. So there's progress to be made, and you can pick whatever it is for you, but if you do it and you keep showing up, you're showing up for you, and that is significant. So if you have any amount of self-love in there, let's take the challenge into 2018 of showing up for ourselves, because then you get to show up for others, and you do it from a place of true authenticity of the heart, and it carries with it an energy that goes out into the universe, and that will just extend exponentially. We don't have to be in the same country as someone else who's going through something and be hands-on in order to help. We can send our intentions. We can do all of that, and it really does make a difference. So if it feels a little bit too self-serving to always be thinking, okay, how am I going to fill my bucket up? Think of it as not being able to give anything out of your bucket if there's nothing in there. But you can also do those moments of contemplation and ask yourself, where do I want to give? What do I want to do? So I'd love for each of you to take this opportunity take the opportunity of the next couple days to write down 3 things that you would like to set as goals, intentions, desires, wishes for the next 3 months. So you're going to make it a little shorter. If you make it too long, it gets put off, put off, put off. So the next 3 months. If you would like some accountability, send me an email, Vicki@VickiBaird. It's really easy.com. And I will check in with you occasionally to see how's it going. What'd you do? Did you walk around the block today? Did you download that recipe you said you were going to try? Did you call that health coach? Whatever the case may be, did you write? Somebody's thinking about writing a book. That's on the list. So did you write the first chapter that came to mind? You do not have to write it in order. The first chapter that came to mind when you think about your book. So I don't know if that's someone on the call right now or if it's someone who's going to tune in later, but make that the intention. So if you'd like the accountability, give me an email and I'll check in with you occasionally. Otherwise, be nice to yourself when you're thinking about these things. I wish you all the best going into the new year. Keep the love that you felt over the holidays. How about we extend that throughout the year? It doesn't have to just show up at holidays. And that I hope you really stretch a little bit this year. Take yourself out of your comfort zones. And I am so grateful to all of you who have ever phone called, been in person, Skyped, been just reading the Facebook page, whatever it is, while I've been at this office. And I will see you at the new space.